Hey people, in that last movie I was talking about Orion here. And I was talking about these stars. The Rigel is said to be the foot, and Betelgeuse. And then this one here is Betelgeuse, the Bet to the House of Jews. So Amanda let me know that the Jews means throat, and that makes a lot of sense. The Jews, that's how they got so smart, is they argue about things all day. They talk about everything. They look at every point of it. But Orion, it sits right here underneath Taurus. It's in the time of Taurus. You see the horns of Taurus up here, and then Gemini coming next. And so Taurus, that's what it's known for: the liver, the gallbladder, the neck, and throat. If we look over here at the Betelgeuse and see how they say it got its name, that's in nomenclature. The nomen was the 36 divisions. URE is where. And so the name to call where. To call at where. So I said it come from the Arabic El Bet Al Juza, meaning the armpit of Orion. But there's several other theories to this. The Germans had spelt it the Bet El Jeux, Geaux. And like I say, the Bet is the house, and El is of, the house of. Richard Allen says it's derived from El Bet Al Jaws, which he claimed degenerated into a number of forms: the bed of Jaws, or the Bet Al Jaws, the Bet, that's the house, the Bet of Jaws. And some say it come from a corruption of Arabic, as in the Yad al Jaws, the hand of Jawza, and Jaws meaning Orion, coming from a misreading of the dots under. But it was first written, the Bet al, the house of Jaws, and then has been accepted. And you can see the old Arabian spelling is just J-U-Z, J-W-Z Jaws, or J-U-Z Jews. And so this is said to come from the French spelling, and it means the gullet, the back of the throat, the voice box. And you see it's similar in the Gaulish and in Latin. When you see everything is similar like that, all the different languages, it comes from the old language. And it was handed down from sailors that were hearing it in another language. Everybody on the boat doesn't have to speak all the same language as long as they understand all the nautical terms. But a throat is also this part of a sail at the shoulder, where it makes the turn opposite of the foot. And so there's a beam that holds this out here, and in the place where this shoulder goes at this throat would be Jaws, in the house of the Jaws. The house means B-I-T, means in it Jaws would be what's holding this out here. There's some rigging up here with a gaff holding this out. And this is where the Jaws and the house of the throat will be. And you see here there's battens that holds his sail out. So down here, the foot is here all across the bottom. And the foot be spelled Q-T, is Q means the center mark. So the foot wouldn't be at the end. But the rig, this is where you put your rigging for your sheet line. Your sheet line rigging goes here at this clue, and that would be the rig. And so if you ignore these green lines here, and that this was sailors looking at this, and you put your own lines in there, you've got a sail rig here. Here you've got your reefing across here. And here you got, you got a batten that's holding this point out. This old Chinese junk. They put these battens in here, but you imagine that's what you're looking at. Is a spirit sail with a single batten in it. And this is the house of the jaws, or the house of the throat. And this is the foot down here, and your rig of RGL, the rig of where you're connecting your rigging to your sheet line. But we can't count out this saying the house of jokes. Because Orion, was known as the Fool, Kessel, and known as the archer, or Nimrod, the greatest hunter. And the medieval Muslim is known as the giant, or the Nephilim are said to be Orion's descendants. But if we look at this other star, the one following in Bellatrix is in Lee Trix. Lee is the leeward side, the back. You have the windward side, and in the front where you're going, and leeward where you've been. And so in the Lee Trix, in behind Trix. And in the 17th century catalog of stars, it was designated Menkib al-Joza al-Asar, which is translated into Latin as humorous, sinister, gigantus. The humorous, the jokes, the house of jokes, of the sinister, the funny, sinister giant, or the big dirty joke. The house of jokes, the bite jokes, in it jokes, the humorous, sinister giants, like Nephilim. So in that last movie, I showed you at the Joshua 15, the boundaries of Judah are the boundaries of the Fool, and the borders are called Orion. So Orion carries this big old club with him. So it starts, the edge whereof limit to time. And then in the next paragraph underneath here, it's Caleb's portion. But this Caleb, it's just spelled KLB or KLV, will club. With the club been on peeping, backwards and forwards, on peeping, not in half, HLQ, to divide of center, not a share but a half, not in half. And so, the club is getting a smaller portion, it's not in half. You see where it is drawing the borders of the club, it don't even get half the portion of Orion, about a third of it maybe. Will club been on peeping, not in half in took. Bing the do you would lay pie you, lay circle you. Pie, they just says the mouth. Lay pie you, lie who so. The same as the Greek, they're always trying to flip words like rappers. And took Bing, and took the mark of time, the do you would, what you were owed, the do you would lay circle, you lay whoso, to tie roof for it. The tie the roof for, the roof is the heavens, the roof for it to bear. To tie the roof for it to bear, to attach, your borders to the roof to bear, to what bears, what it's on. The jive backwards, JVA, the jive honky. The jive honky, that's where that word comes from. You ever been called a jive honky? To jive the onct, make empower the onk, ONQ. The onk, they power, have run, HVRUN. It's talking about the Honkeys, the Egyptians. If there was a club of people that carried around an Ankh all the time, you would probably call them the Honkeys. The jive honkies. What's up with them bunch of jive honkies there? And you notice they wear the Jewish shipping colors, the red and white stripes. All the old Jewish ships and the Viking ships all had the red and white sails. The jive honky, they power, have HVRUN, to have the run. Where's Moses' club? To the soul's slush, the Bing, the time. The Ankh to Isis, she. What name hatch 'em in? What time will tell my yield make the Ankh? So this word here is closer to Moses than the other word they give Moses, just MSE, Mos. But the worse Mos is, where's Moses' club? To the soul slush. That's the slush is a bank where they loan money, and the soul slush is the church where they slushing the souls, buying, selling souls. Bing, to bang the Ankh. So on the boat we would take the little ringer out of the bell, so when the waves hit, it didn't ring whenever it wanted, and it kind of looked like this without the arms here. It kind of looked just like a brass, it had a hole on one end where it was hooked up in there, and you would bang the bell, in port, but at sea you would take it out and you just leave it by the bell so you could tap it when you wanted to bang the Ankh. Where's Moses' club? To the soul's slush, bang the Ankh. To Isis, she. What name hatch 'em in? The NMI, the name HACHIMN, to hatch 'em in. What time 'll tell? What time little my yield the Ankh? And so what time little my yield the Ankh? That's old Cleve talking here, old club. As the sun's passing over, you get to bang the bell, every 15 minutes. Bing, bing, bang, 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 bang. But old Cleve here, he only gets like one bing, maybe two bings at the clock. He's got less than 30 minutes in there. He don't get to bang the clock a whole lot. But to bang the Ankh. To Isis, she. What name hatch 'em in? What time little me yield make the Ankh? I don't get to hold the Ankh very long. So this sons of Enoch, these are supposed to be the Nephilim. Enoch is the father of the Nephilim. It comes up 6 times here, and then the Ankh, and then this one's a little bit different. It's the on, the light of, EON, the light, UQ of, UF, the light of. But this one here, it's just the ONQ, Ankh, or the light center. And you can see here the Nephilim, sons of Ankh. So it's here, Numbers 13:33. And it says, uses rain, what to millipan the nipple is. Bing, Ankh, men, my lippin implies. When they in seeing make new, the cog of is. To con the jinn, to baying this. So uses, to consume, vav, to, and s, shin, consume from. To consume from something is when you're using it, to uses. Uses reign, R-A-I-N, to your power, you're the king. Uses reign, and then W-T-O. What to millipan? Millipan is, milli is German and Hebrew for who is like me. Milli, and pan, is around. Who is like me around the nipple is. And then being uncommon, like Tutankhamun. This is being uncommon. And on, is the light. And the Q is the center from cycle. The light center from cycle. The time on coming. My lippin', somebody talking back, M-Y-L-P-N. See, it doesn't have the I in here. It's missing this extra I. My lippin' implies, what I'm saying implies when they N-I into C-I-N-I, seeing into, baying into, and seeing into the cog of is. A cog of is a little bitty gear that's used to turn a machine. And I'm thinking that's what this says, KHG is a cog, because it says it's like a grasshopper. And if you look at the ancient pictures of a grasshopper, it just looks like a six-pointed star. This is what an ancient cog looked like. It's like the head and the tail and the four wings of a locust. That's the way they pictured them, as little flying cogs. In seeing new cog of is, to con the jinn, to baying this. B-O-Y or B-A-Y-N-I-ing this, E-S. And so to con, to control the jinn, J-I-N, the evil spirits. The cog is to control the jinn, to baying this. So these are the cogs, that turn the big wheel. Those six-tooth cogs. And it's Maui and Lisa. It's the moon and the sun. Maui and Lisa. Maui is the night and the cool. And Lisa is the sun and the fire. So a couple more lines down, it says, and he went up from there to the inhabitants of Dibber. And the name of Dibber, Dibber's, they say it means the word all the way through, and he said, where the word abracadabra come from. And the name of Dibber was formerly the Frit Sepper. The Frit Sepper. And said the club, who he attacks the Frit Sepper and takes it, I will give to him ox, my daughter, as a wife. Over here in the Greek, it says, and instead of from there, the K a little bit, upon the ones dwelling in Dibber. The name of Dibber was formerly the city of letters, the Polis Grammaton. And so, the city is the poles. You'll see a different spelling for the city. Here's the P-O-L-Y-S, the Polis, as in more than one, and the pollen. But this is the usual spelling of the P-O-L-E. The pole is, you put poles around your territory. The pole is. But yeah, this land was formerly known as the Polygrammaton. You know, they say that, and you look in the beginning of the Bible, say every time they say Lord, there's a whole bunch of different words, Donnie and Jehovah and all that. They mean the Tetragrammaton. And so they say here grammaton just means letters. But this is a polygrammaton. And a polygrammaton is a geometrical shape. A generalized polygon can be called a polygram and named specifically by its number of sides. You know, say a tetragrammaton, tetra 4, gramma, letter, name of Aton is God. You know, this is Aton. And this is a polygram, one of these old devil worshipping symbols, they call it. You know, like a pentagram. And so they're numbered by, they have two numbers. And so a pentagram means is a 5-2. And that means it has 5 points, and it takes 2 trips around the circle to create one. Now if you start here and you go, you're crossing here 1 time around and 2 times around, and you have a 5-point star. This is a 7-2. You know, 7 points after you go around 2 times. You know, 7-3. You know, this is the numbers and the letters in the name. And so this is what I'm going to get into next. Because it says, you know, whoever cracks the case of the city formerly known as the Polygrammaton, I will give you my daughter for a wife. And I like it better in Hebrew. It's a better story. But you can see better the name of the city, you know. And to Yammer, who command the club. And so it's the cleaver, Klvrsa, who command cleavers, you know, like a butcher. The cleavers, the kike, the Kike. And so the kike is a derogatory name for Jews. Who command the cleavers, the kike, to tire the frit cipher, SQR, the cipher, the frit cipher, or the frit rip cipher, will code, WLCDE, will code, unity, UNTTI, will code unity, Lu, of due to, you know, because of it, Lu to this, ES, this cock, KOKS, this cocks have it, EVTI, have it last. This cocks have it last. And then it goes to talking about all the cities. So this is going to be a good one. I'm going to work on this next. I'm going to cut this off here. A good day.